Hi. Oh, hang on. You'll pop back on in a minute. There you are. Okay, so we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Lions Lounge Lockdown, episode 34. Ben Marshall. Ben, thanks for joining us, mate.
No problem. Good to be here.
Over the moon to have you on, mate. I had a perception of you. You was an unbelievable player. A little bit frustrated with you at times because you didn't fulfill your potential. But after watching you recently on Under the Cosh, mate, I just love you again. The way you come across was superb. 2 loan spells at Millwall. How did that come about? Because I watched you recently on Under the Cosh, and for those who haven't seen it, your first impressions when said, Millwall got suggested, you said, fuck now, I'm not going there.
Yeah. Obviously, I played there before. It's very intimidating, but obviously, at first I was like, I don't know, but obviously Sav was there, wasn't he? And obviously Jed, and spoke to him, and they said, "Oh, okay, you'll love it down here." So I said, "Why not?" And then, to be honest with you, I remember driving down the night before, stayed over. I think it was at is it Bromley Hotel next
That's
to
it, yeah.
and I thought, fuck it now. And then, to be honest with you, as soon as I stepped through the door, I just loved it. I loved like the old-fashioned changing rooms, like just everything about it. Like when I got in there, it was brilliant. I just thought, yeah, this is me.
Yeah, because you're very much, I say, from that Under the Cosh, I will reference that again. You're very much of a homeboy.
Yeah.
Manchester boy, used to being around your mates, didn't really go out and about. So to come to London for the first time, there must have been other clubs interested. Why did you decide to come to Millwall?
Yeah, there was other clubs. I just felt like there was. I can't off the top of my head think what clubs, but there was. I think at the time, I think Millwall was it probably like mid-table, like
Yeah,
might have been, and there was some a bit higher up who come in, but I thought I don't want the same situation as going to a high, like a higher. We were doing well, and I'm in the same boat as I am at Wolves. In and out. I spoke to the manager, obviously Neil Harris, and he just said, "Listen, you're going to play." He said, "We want you to play." And to be honest, after that conversation I had, I just felt wanted again. Do you know what I mean? And I thought, even not even being there, like just straight away after that phone call, I thought, yeah. So I thought, yeah, I'll give it a go. Go and experience London.
What was your first impressions of that in the club?
Loved it. Yeah, loved it. Especially the training ground, and just the lads, and it just felt like most other clubs have got like it's too like serious, and don't get me wrong, we took it serious, but
yeah,
when the manager gave us that vibe where it was like it was like old school. Do you know what I mean? And I just loved it. I just remember thinking like, and I remember when I signed, I think we played the first game was. Oh no, we played. Who did we play? We played someone away, and then the gaffer said, "Yeah, you're probably going to take a couple of, coming on and getting a bit of fitness." And then the next game was Friday night, Cardiff. Anyway, we played I think it was a bit of a resi game. Anyway, I'd done well. Anyway, on the Friday, he said, "You're in." I said, "You're fucking joking." I said, "A fucking Sky Friday night."
Yeah, that's right.
I don't even think I'm match fit. I said, "You fucking throw me under a bus here." Anyway, I ended up doing all right, and I felt really good. So obviously, seeing that I was ready. So, and then from there, it just didn't look back really.
You played in various positions. You played at right back one day. You had a really good game. Left mid, in a 10, centre midfield. Was you happy to do that left midfield role? Because Aidan O'Brien was doing that role before. I think he got injured, and that's why you came to the club. But what was your best position, you felt?
I think that first season, on the wing was definitely the way we played. I mean, just putting balls into the box, you knew, that's just the way we played. You knew someone was going to be on the end of it. And, that's one of my strong points about my game is obviously crossing and setting him up. And, I just felt like that was my best position. To be honest with you, I think any one of them players that season could have played anywhere and we still would have got a result.
Yeah, you walked straight into the start of a 17-game unbeaten run. I think, Tim Cahill come back to the club. He couldn't even get in. What was it like being around the dressing room, being around the boys? Did you really feel at home in London especially?
Yeah. There wasn't one everyone was just on that. You know, I've been at clubs where, you know, players who are, you know, earning thousands and, you know, played, you know, even Tim was brilliant. I think he sort of seen the atmosphere and thought, this is a bit of me as well. And obviously being back at his club where he started. But no, the lads was, for me, it's probably the best dressing room I've ever been in.
Really? So you had, obviously, you said Jed and George Saville previously come from Wolves. I think he was the third recruit from Wolves. So did they have to, what did they say to you when they sold the club to
you? Get down, you'll fucking love it. That's what he said. Said, like, you know, if you do well, they'll look after you your days off and stuff, which was good, obviously, to get home for this little one and see her. But the way it worked out, she ended up coming up quite a lot.
Mrs.
No, my little one, and my mum had come and watched every game come down, and, you know, made a bit of a weekend of it, and so yeah, it worked out unbelievable, and like you say, everything was good around me. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know, because obviously coming from the situation I was at Wolves, you know, obviously I'd not been playing, and I felt like, oh fucking hell, here we go again, sort of thing. And you know, to obviously go into that environment, and then obviously the season how it unfolded was just unbelievable, right?
Yeah, mate. It was a ridiculous run we went on. You scored some bangers along the way as well. Barnsley away, I remember that was one of the coldest football matches of my life. Yeah. Stuck one of the top corner that day, didn't you?
Yeah, it's funny that, because, you know, like I said, like how sometimes, like I said on that other podcast, how it just works out. I was having a fucking stinker. You know what I mean? I was, you know, it was cold. I was fucking, I remember Willow, Sean Williams, fucking passed me a ball, and I literally, like, didn't get there, and he went, fucking hell, how slow are you? And then I banged one in, and it was like I was the best player on the pitch, and it's just how it works, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? If I would have got pulled off, you know, it would have been like, oh, I had a stinker today, and blah, 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 but just how it went.
Mate, you're like, honestly, I'm just saying, you're an unbelievable player. You can still do a job for us now, actually, in fact. But would it be fair to say at times, again, referring to the other podcast, people I'm sure will watch that before this if they haven't already, you just tossed it off if you didn't fancy it. A big boozing culture as well, like within your career. Did that follow you to the London, as I said, because you sort of hung around with your mates from Salford a lot, didn't you? But
to be honest, that first season, and to be honest, even the second spell, I know obviously it didn't go to plan, like, but I felt like being at Millwall, you couldn't toss it off. Do you know what I mean? Like, it probably come across like I did, which I wouldn't say I tossed it off. I think it was just my mentality. It was just like, fucking hell. And it's like anything, like, you know, just anything in life. If you're feeling that bit, like, you know, it's going to show.
Yeah, of course.
But I never wanted to toss it off, especially for, you know, I knew how much it meant to the fan. Probably most intense I've ever played under. But when it's brilliant, it's brilliant. And when it's not, you get it, which is fair enough.
Yeah, you said as well when you first found out, you said, cool, fuck that, I'm not going there, it's intimidating. But I'm sure you found out as well, if you do well, which you did in your first spell, they very quickly have you on side the fans and they've got your back. Do you have any fun interactions with fans or anything like
that? I loved it with the fans. I mean, I think at the end of that season, we had a Christmas do, and I was pissed as a fart, and you know, without fans, and I was on karaoke singing Oasis, and all lads and manager had gone home. I think I actually went downstairs in dressing room and had a fag, I think. Yeah.
Where was this karaoke taking place?
Do you know when they have like the Christmas do with the fans and sponsors and that?
Right, yeah.
Like, obviously, I think because it's just before like the end of the season, so we still had training and a game and that. But I think it was when we had, was it Villa last game, and I think it was like, we needed
to win something like 7-0, didn't we? I think it's Villa to get the job done.
So obviously that was party time for me then. So when we was at that Christmas do, I was pissed as a fart. managers left and all the players left, and I just stayed with all fans and karaoke and, like I say, having a fag in changing room, sat in my spot. Loved it.
It's fuck it. Mate, I just love the way. So I got frustrated when you was at me all. Like, I feel like it was a waste of talent. But after watching you Under the Cosh, I just thought, look, if that's what he wants to do with his life, and he's not ashamed to admit it, that's what he wants to do. Yeah. And yeah, it just comes across the way you say it. I used to think, and I don't know if some of the other fans did, you thought you was a bit big time, but nothing could be further from the truth. Could it? You're very down to earth. You're very just take things as they come.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not a big time person. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'll ask anyone and any of the lads, you know, I'll go for a pint with anyone, and you know. But I understand because I'm a football fan myself.
Yeah,
and you know what I mean. I'll look at, you know, I mean, a United fan, and I'll look at, you know, watch the games, and I'm like, fucking hell, you fucking, because I don't really know him. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
I'm like, fucking hell, he's tossing out. He don't give a fuck. Like, no, Pogba and that, fucking hell. But you don't know what, you don't know. I don't know him, and I don't know, but we say it.
Yeah, of course.
If he was to come out and do a podcast, and you'd be like, fucking hell, like, and that's who I am. I'm not. Listen, if I was good at fucking laying bricks, I'd be a bricklayer. I was gifted at football.
Yeah.
And I worked hard at it obviously to get where I was.
Yeah.
You know, from a young age, I had to sacrifice, you know, like most footballers, moving away from home and doing this and doing that and not being able to go out on a Friday, you know, on the shops and because you had a game in the morning. But so when I got there, you know, and made it, that's when I started. Obviously,
who did you room with in that first year? Remember? What did you do? Did they rent you a flat, or did you?
Oh, yeah. I had a flat in Woolwich.
Fucking hell, it's up the road from me. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the new like
Royal Arsenal. The Royal Arsenal.
Yeah, Royal Arsenal. Yeah. Which didn't help because that had like 2 boozers on it. So that was eventful.
What did you do? Like, obviously, you're away from home. As I said in that previous podcast, I saw you on. Very much always stuck with your boys that you went to school with, you grew up with. What did you do to pass your time? Who did you involve yourself with down here?
I mean, obviously, to be honest, that first season, I kind of like stayed at Savs quite a lot.
George Savile, yeah.
Yeah, like we like a game of golf, and you know, I'd go and stay at his 2 or 3 nights a week because obviously he knew I was up here on my own. You know, didn't really know anyone from London. My sister lived in London, but she was working, and so he was like, "You can come stay here whenever." And he ended up staying there quite, you know, probably half the week, if not, you know.
Oh, right.
So that was handy because I could, you know, obviously they looked after me.
What's he like, Posh George? Because I didn't realise, but I've heard from a lot of players say he's the best around the dressing room, can't be beaten.
George, he's fucking far from it. Is he balls? Nah, he's some boy, and it's probably near enough on par with me, but a bit more sensible.
Oh, fair enough. You said we spoke briefly about Neil Harris. What was he like for you, the gaffer? Did you get on well with him?
Yeah, I loved him. Fucking unbelievable. It was just like you respected him as a manager, but you sort of seen him as like a bit of a mate. Like, I know a lot of people say that. Do you know what I mean? Where, you know, you can talk to him about anything, but if you cross that line, you got it. Do you know, it was quite a good balance, and I loved it. And yeah, I thought it was brilliant.
When you first come to Millwall, so what was your intentions? Well, you come from Wolves. You say you're a Northern boy, probably want to ideally be up in the North. Did you come to Millwall with the intention thinking, if I do well here, I might join, or was it purely to get games, and was it to put yourself in the shop window?
At first, it was, you know, just to try and get that playing again and that happiness back and just enjoying football, which I did. And then towards the end, it was like, right, what do I do? Obviously, I knew Wolves. No, that was done and dusted. Obviously, they went up that season, and yeah, it was just. And then towards the end, it was like, right, what happens now? And obviously, from the cards, it was, for, you know, joining Millwall on a permanent, and then yeah, and then the summer come, and I just remember saying, right, I remember saying to Neil Harris, I'm just going to go away and just try and get my head around things and see what I do and go from there, really.
So say we finished, I think, 8th. We had a really good 17-game unbeaten run. And then, I mean, listen, the fans all wanted you. I honestly thought, when I said it many times during my videos, you just seemed a class above what we had. You just seemed to, and that was the worry. And it's happened to Millwall before. We get players in on loan. Darren Huckabee years ago, you won't remember, but Chris Wood in quite recent times comes on loan, does the business, and then someone else fucking comes in and nicks it.
Did he go to Leicester?
Huh?
Did he go to Leicester after that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there when he come. Yeah.
So where'd you go from here? So you was keen to join then? You was keen to join permanent?
Yeah. I think, obviously, Millwall was worried about the wage side of it because obviously, but I wanted to join, and they was, don't get me wrong, they was full throttle. They was putting, I think they put like £1 million bid in.
Right.
And, they went at it, and, he was on the phone to me every other day, saying, this is where we're at. We can't get, obviously, I think Wolves wanted a bit more, or, what it's like. And then, I mean, I was like to Neil Harris, like, I wanted to, I want to sign. I obviously wanted to go because I knew it, and it, I was happy. And then, obviously, Norwich come in, and it was like, shit, like, what do we do here? And then I think Norwich put a bigger bid in, and Wolves was saying, we're going to accept this bid. We're not going to accept, obviously, Millwall's because it was lower, and that's as far as they could go. Millwall, which they'd already pushed the bottle out quite a lot.
Yeah, the wages thing fucked us, man. Obviously, I don't expect you to tell me, but there was a rumour that obviously you was contracted to Wolves. When they went up, you then got an increase in wages, even though you wasn't playing, and it just wages wise, it was just well out of our budget.
Yeah, and then to be honest, and then obviously I just ended up signing for Norwich, which was fucking balls up.
So cards on the table. If Millwall had matched Norwich's bid wages for you, you would have joined us.
Yeah, fucking millions. I would have come. I'd have come for less wages. But
really,
it was when we talk about wages, like, it's like, how do you say it? So we try and get the most as we can get. It's not to go out to buy fucking big watches. We've got to get as much as we can while we can to make sure. And obviously, family's everything, and my little one and my family and that, it's for them. So obviously, when there's a big gap, it's like, I think I've heard you say it, like, if someone offers you a better job for more money, you're going to go and do that.
Oh, you've seen that video, have you?
Yeah. But, no, but I understand, but it's not to go out and to be greedy. It's to get your wages in, because
1,000,000%. If you're a bricklayer, you're an electrician. If the electrician firm up the road offers you $5,000 more a week, you're going to take it. Of course, you're going to take it.
Well, there was too much of a bigger gap. Plus, there was no way me going to Millwall anyway, because they wouldn't. The only other way was on loan again. Yeah. But Wolves was just being Wolves, or any other club would. If someone's there offering 1.7, or I don't know how much it was.
Of course, yeah, that's how football works, isn't it? It's the way it works.
But yeah, I signed for Norwich, and as soon as I walked through the door, I thought, what the fuck have I done here? All the Germans, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And I actually, when I finished my medical, I actually rang. As soon as I finished, I went out and sat in one of the dugouts at training ground, and I rang Neil Harris, and he just said, listen, it's just the way it goes. Norwich is a big club, and we just couldn't sort of keep up with them, and then.
Well, you rung Neil Harris after you had your medical. You went into the dugout at Norwich and rung Neil Harris.
Yeah, just to, obviously, because we both wanted it to work, but he didn't, and I just wanted to obviously let him know that, just out of, as a friend and as a manager, that you know, I'm gutted, even though I've just signed a fucking 4-year deal and whatever. I'm gutted because obviously I wanted it to work. But then, I think it was about, so I've signed there anyway. We've gone away pre-season, come back, and the manager's been playing me like right back, and I'm thinking,
who's the manager then? Was it what's his name? Farker?
Yeah, fucking sneaky boys, yeah.
Who?
Fucking you do speak. Fucking sounds like a dog.
I can tell it's gone wrong from day one. You take the piss out of the manager, bringing Neil Harris in the dugout. You should never have joined, should you? Yeah.
As soon as when I'm fucking first day, I'm in the dining room. I put pasta on my plate. They say, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!" I'm like, "Fuck off." Anyway, he pulls me into his office after like doing medical, like signed. Pulls me in and goes, "Yeah, you know, you're fat." I said, "What?" He said, "You're fat." I said, "Fucking hell." I said, "Well, you're fucked then, because you fucking just had me for 4 years and you think I'm fat." Anyway, so
you should have said I'm going for a fag in a minute. What about that?
Yeah. So you got any fucking beers in that fridge? So anyway, I'm about 3 or 4 weeks in, and he's playing me right back, and I'm thinking, fucking hell. Anyway, I'd lost the plot. Like, I just had enough, and I think it was about a week before the transfer window was shutting. I actually rang Neil Harris and said, is there any way we can fucking change this round? Can you not fucking do anything? Get me on loan or
really?
And I was trying, honestly, I'd have fucking jogged back to fucking Millwall. Anyway, you know, we both wanted it, but it just been too complicated. So he just said, listen, get your head down. He just said, and we'll see what obviously January brings. So anyway, I ended up starting the first 3 or 4 games. First game, played Birmingham, a man of the match. I thought, happy days here, and then it just went tits up from there, really.
For what reason do you think that happened?
Well, he dropped me, and then I was like, well, fucking give me a chance on a wing or whatever. But obviously, my style of play, you know, we had Pookie up front, who, you know, was brilliant, unbelievable, but he's not an header. He's not gonna, you know what I mean? No. Like telling me, like, if I get to the byline, like, don't cross it in the air, like, always pull it back, and I'm like, that's not me. So as soon as I got like dropped from the team, and then the starting lineup, and then he played me like fucking on the wing against Preston, and I had a stinker, and that was it. Then it was just grinding it out, and then that's obviously when just started obviously feeling down and like fucking hell.
4 years and all. I worked when I used to be a roofer years ago, just before my son was born. I worked in Norwich for 9 months. Not a lot going on there, is there?
Is it? They're all fucking back in time, aren't they? Like Shaun of the Dead. You know when you come out at night, they all just come out like fucking.
After this video, man, I don't think you're ever going to be able to go back. Not that you want to anyway.
Okay, they're all Gibbs anyway.
So eventually eventually you make your way back to Millwall.
Yeah.
You must have been buzzing just to get out of Norwich for one, but also go back to an environment you was happy in.
Yeah. How did it come about? So obviously I'd not played, and I was like going into manager saying what's happening, and he's like, no, we need you, you know, for backup and all this. And I'm like, I'm not fucking here for backup or what play, like. You've got me all wrong. Like, I'm not just going to sit here and you know, if someone gets injured or can be, you know what I mean? I just wasn't. Some players are happy to do that, but I'm at my happiest when I'm playing.
Yeah, it's even good to sort of refresh and see, because I'm not going to name any names, but there's a player currently in the team that we eventually got instead of you, and he doesn't see. He's just happy to sit and take his dough. Do you know what I mean? So the fact, although you didn't really like Norwich, you still wanted to sort of play and prove yourself, you know?
Yeah, and anyway, and I just pushed and pushed and pushed. Obviously, it's on the phone to Chopper, and yeah, I was just like, anyway, I was going in every day. I was like, listen, I'll fucking kick up a fuss. Do you know what I mean? Like, anyway, and I think they ended up just saying, fuck this, get rid of this, fucking, because they was flying as well. Don't forget, they was.
Yeah, of course.
So I was like, listen, they didn't want me around fucking causing havoc. Well, you know what I mean?
What was you doing in training? Like booting balls and shit like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. That come in the end when I ended up fucking leaving.
Putting you up.
I was in like referee's dressing room, and they was training on like the pitch, the first team, and I'm fucking with a fitness coach doing shuttles, and I'm just levering balls while they're doing shape and that. And Fark was like, oh, fuck, this guy's fucking crazy, like.
Not one of his most successful signings for Norwich in his mind.
I don't even think he fucking knew who it was. Then he started. Swear to God. He's like, yeah, watch a couple of videos. Like, yeah, you're very talented. I was like, fucking hell. So it was actually Stuart Webber, but I sort of knew that because Stuart Webber was like, we want some like experience and, you know, the championship. We need that because obviously we've got a lot of like, obviously they had like foreign boys in. And that was it. It was like when I said, obviously, I want to go out on loan in January, he's like, we need you around the dressing room because obviously I'm like, bit of Jack the lad and, you know, I'd like to think I'm good around the dressing room, you know, I'm good with the young lads and that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not fucking here to be a fucking puppet. I'm not, you know what I mean? We need you around the dressing room, make everyone laugh. I was like, all right, well, fucking give me an extra $5,000. I'll be a fucking coming in a clown outfit if you want. Fucking stay there just to fucking make everyone happy.
Yeah, fuck me. Especially when you're not personally happy yourself as well. Do you know what I mean? Having to put on an act.
Yeah. But...
So eventually you got out the door once again, returned to Millwall.
Yeah.
The second stint, do you know what? I was going to say your first stint was brilliant, your second stint not so much. Actually, look, you sort of come in January, so you couldn't be held accountable for what had gone on previous to that. And it was a sort of a mini revival, especially when Ben Thompson come back to the club.
Yeah.
But what was different you felt around, not you personally at first, we'll get into that after, but, you know, the team was struggling at this point. Yeah. Pretty much the same team that had been on that 17-game unbeaten run. Could you sense there was a different, you know, mentality and attitude around the training ground?
There wasn't. It was a shame, like, because obviously they're decent lads, so obviously, but I think I always thought that, and I remember Neil Harris saying actually, you know, after that season, you know,
where'd you go from here?
Where'd you go? Yeah, and it was always tough. And obviously, when I went to Norwich, obviously I was still looking out for the results, and you know, I think it's momentum and. Do you know what I mean? Like, things just fall into place, and it didn't. And like you say, if you know, going back to the Barnsley game, you know, if I would have had that game, the Barnsley game in that second spell and not scored, it would have been fucking disaster. Do you know what I mean? But it's just the way it goes, and it just didn't click. And obviously, you know, I reckon that was when I was sort of like, you know, I thought going back to Millwall would have been like a, you know, it was like a, oh, thank God, like I'm out of that pit and I'm back here where I enjoy, which don't get me wrong, I loved it. Like, second spell, I still loved it. But
yeah,
on the pitch, it was, you know, it was difficult. And, you know what I mean? Like, me personally didn't do as well as I could do, and the team, you know, wasn't, you know,
so it wasn't just you. I mean, James Meredith, a guy you spent a lot of time with. First season in the Championship, he was brilliant for us, but then second season, I thought it was awful. Good wingman, though, wasn't
he? Yeah, I think that's because. Oh, thank you. Cheers. Fucking Guinness World Record books. Not in them, love. I have most pints drank in a day. What was I going to say? Yeah,
talking about James Meredith, you and him.
Obviously, because I went there, he went to tits up, didn't he? He didn't have me there to kick him on, but no.
When I said wingman, I meant boozing partner.
Oh yeah, he liked to suck, like, but he was quite sensible. So if I turn round to him on a Thursday and say, right, get your clubber on, he'd be like, yeah, Marsh, yeah, no one on Thursday, mate. You know, he's like.
So the second spell, so it just didn't really go to plan. Was there a point where you was thinking, I just want to get out of here, full stop now? Yeah. The South just not meant for you?
Yeah, it just felt like, definitely took the last few games. Like I think the manager just turned around, and I think he could see it, like him, because obviously he knew me quite well as a person. I think he just seen like, and he just said, "Listen, I'll tell Norwich." Like he said, "But you just get yourself home." Because I was saying to him, like on a friendship level, like I just want to be at home. I just want to be at home, just back to normality, just for my own head. And
like, by this point, you must have spent a lot of time, probably the longest time. I don't know you personally, but can't imagine you spent that amount of time away from home to go to Millwall on loan, then join Norwich, then come back to Millwall. You must have been craving sunny Manchester by then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was, and obviously the season was sort of done, like 2 games to go. Like, you know, I don't think we could have gone down.
No.
And it was just like, I think he felt like it was probably best for me to obviously to be away, as you know, and that was it really. And then
what I was going to say, just in that season, the one good thing, and again, this might have been frustrating for you, the one thing that you couldn't be involved in was the FA Cup run, because you'd already played for Norwich, hadn't you?
Yeah.
And that was it was a buzz time around the club. Obviously, beat Everton, didn't we? We was absolutely flying, and you couldn't even be involved in that.
Nah, I felt like I was. I was fucking standing, fucking singing along. I fucking loved it.
Was it really?
Yeah. I was outside, fucking with my coat on, hoping there was a big scrap. I'll get right involved there.
Well, you was looking to have a roll round?
Yeah, fucking did right, I did. I'll go down well, won't it? Turn up the train the next day, fucking black eyes everywhere. Welcome to you. To be fair, I think he would have let it slide. To be honest, I think he'd have loved it. I think he'd have been in there with me if he could.
Who, Harris?
Yeah.
Mate, so what happens next? So obviously the season ends. We just avoid relegation. You're fully involved in karaoke and looking to roll around with fans, but obviously you're not feeling great mentally yourself. So you return to Norwich at that point. Did Mill say, "Okay, we want to sign you," or "Thanks for your time, Ben, but we're not what we were looking for"? Or
was this after the second spell?
After the second spell, yeah.
Yeah, no, they did. I think they sort of thought no, which I wouldn't have expected them to. What there was no contact. Or I think it was just more they wanted me to obviously get sorted for my own head.
Was you struggling bad mentally then at this point?
Yeah. Like I just didn't know. It was like I'd finished at Millwall. I knew I wasn't going to go back. Obviously, I knew, that summer I've got to go back to Norwich. What they're going to do? They've gone up. There's no fucking chance I'm going to be anywhere near it. I knew that. I thought, what do we do here?
Did you fall out of love with football at this point? Or not really? It's just your environment, not the game.
Yeah, and I think it was just the whole of foot. Not actually. As soon as I walked over that line, I still love playing football now. I love playing.
Yeah.
But I think it was just everything around it started changing. Like it was just. Listen, I get it's a profession, and I get it's it has to be taken seriously. But there's a line, and it was just ridiculous. Like and it wasn't good, like double sessions and that if we didn't have a Tuesday game. And it was like, not good for your body. You need to have a day off. Not to obviously go out on the piss, but you need a day off to obviously, self. And it just sort of drained me and it just sort of got a bit too serious. That's why I love, obviously, going to Millwall because it, don't get me wrong, it was still serious, but it wasn't.
Quite old school in its approach.
Yeah. Which obviously works. Well, it works when I went on the first spell. We didn't do anything different the second time. It just didn't happen. But yeah, and I just felt like, which obviously now, obviously I'm playing with my mates on a Saturday and training on a Wednesday. It just shows that I just wanted I still love football. Football always, I love kicking a ball around.
It's funny. It's I always say so. I've watched these podcasts. Other players. I do these podcasts, and I've said this before. I get the feeling. You're not that old though. Only 20, 29?
29, yeah.
29. Say you're the sort of the last of a generation. In years to come, these podcasts won't exist because players didn't have a laugh. Players didn't go on the piss. They're just pure athletes that want to eat couscous and fucking drink water now, aren't they? I can understand where you say the fun's gone out of it a bit with a lot of the players, again, you see on these podcasts, they loved, as much as they love playing for the clubs, they love the dressing room side of it and the togetherness, and it's not, everyone's on their phones now and shit like that, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're all human, you've got to have a laugh, and you've got to, if it's too serious, then you've got to remember we're with each other probably more than we're with our own misses, families, whatever. And every day we're with each other near enough. So it needs to be that. And a night out can, like, I've had, say we've had a Christmas do where it's compulsory, and you get fucking, if you have got a couple of foreign lads, you see the real them. Do you know what I mean? And it brings you together. And, especially like Millwall, me and Sav, like, if I go back to Sav's, like, we'd go around to his local pub in Ascot with all fucking posh twats and have a few beers. And he was like, I remember it was like £4 odd for a pint of fucking Carlsberg. I was like, you taking fucking piss? You get fucking £2.10 in fucking the Albion, Manchester Road.
Where's the Albion? In Salford, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lovely...
Sounds like a great boozer.
Yeah, there's no fucking curfew. Curtain shut after 12. That's it. But yeah, I mean, you've got to have a night out. You've got to enjoy yourself. But I mean, obviously, looking back, probably took it a bit too far. But you've got to be able to do it.
Hey, fuck it. You know what? At least you're fucking honest and you said, I did it, I enjoyed doing it, and that's it. I'm not going to apologise for that. It's your fucking life. If you put yourself in that position money-wise, then fuck it. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do.
Listen, I'm not apologising. I fucking loved it, and I'm sure fucking everyone would fucking love to be at the side of me as well. But I'm one of them. If I was to bump into, if it was at Millwall and like just at the Christmas party thing, I just fucking got on the beers with him, got on the karaoke, fucking asked for a light off one of the Millwall fans, and that was it.
Yeah, you just cheat. You just you're the same in any environment.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I am. But,
so you leave. Was it a double kick and going back to the Norwich thing now? Was it a double kick and a bollocks you? You went to Mill, think this could be my way out. Didn't work out. Now you think, fuck, I've got to go back to Norwich on a 4-year deal as well.
I still had a flat in London, so I was when pre-season started at Norwich. So we were supposed to be. Well, we got like when you get like a fitness program to do over the summer. Come through on fucking. I just went fuck off. No chance. Fucking ripped up. Said, you think I'm going to be fucking running when I'm fucking on my holidays? You got no chance. Got me fucking this hat on here. This hat on with my fag in my mouth and a beer. For fucking no chance.
That's a proper Manchester bucket at that, mate, isn't it? Classic.
Fag in hands, couple of beers. Thought there's no chance you're going to see me running up and down. Anyway, I went back to Norwich, fucking obese. But they said we have to be back by a date, and then I got a text probably, and they just kept pushing it back and just saying you can don't come in this week, come in the next week, and I was loving it, like obviously having it. Anyway, I ended up getting back, but I was obviously still living in London, so I was travelling in from Woolwich to training.
That's an absolute slap, that, isn't it?
We got there and it was me, James' husband, what's his name? Nelson Oliveira.
Yeah.
And he was just trying to push it out the door, take a referee changing room, weren't even allowed the same training kit. He was just trying all sorts. Which I'm the sort of person where if they're obviously doing things on the sly, then I can obviously do it as well, which...
Yeah. Good. So they paid you up in the end, Bosch?
Yeah, well, so I got to a point where I was like, fuck this. And I just went home. I just wasn't turning up for training.
Went home to London or went home to Manchester?
I went home to Manchester. I just wasn't turning up for training. Obviously, my agent's ringing me. I was just like, I don't give a fuck, like, basically. I just, they can do it. They can find me. They can cancel my contract. And And then my agent said, come and meet me at just the local Marriott here, and just said, do you want to obviously pay your contract up? But so I was like,
yes, please. Yes, please.
I was like, where do I fucking sign? So he said, right, this is what happened, blah, 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 blah. I was like, fucking pages about that long with notes on it. I was like, yeah, go on then, sound, yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming.
Fuck, so listen, let's be honest. It was a bit of a nightmarish time for you, but it worked out in the end, mate. Then it fucking must have paid up 4 years. You only went, was only one, and you 6 months alone to us.
Yeah, and obviously they went up and wages went up, but it won't, like you say, it's not about that. I've always been quite sensible, I've not, like you say, if it was to go out, I'd spend 20, 30 quid, put a tenner in the fruiter. Be raging if I lost it, but yeah, I've always, I think it's more, I'm quite obviously a homely person, obviously like kids and that, I'm always, even though I've been out and done such stupid stuff, I've always had my mind on, I don't want to get to a point where I finish and, I've got nothing to show for it.
So when they've paid you up, then did you know at that point because you're done? Because obviously the next part of the story is obviously as we do Mill fans, you got to have in mind. I forgot you existed. I'm sitting in a pub. Someone goes to me, "Fucking look at Ben Marshall. He's playing the 98th tier of English football." And then I saw the video and I said, "He's either lost his head completely or it's a wind up. I can't work out which."
Well, I remember so they said it'll take about a week to all get drafted up and sorted. So this just proves what I'm like. I was like, I'm not asked, do I have to go in or not? I wasn't even bothered about like the pay up. I was more interested in not going in that week. Anyway, they said no, just stay off. So I went to Canada for 2 weeks. Just went away and just obviously just. Well, I was free. I didn't have any ties like with,
of course,
with the job or anything. So I just went away, and then I come back, and then just sort of trying to get my head together and what to do, and and then I went training with Bolton for a bit. I had managers, Rotherham manager come down, a few managers come down to obviously try and persuade me to. And with Rotherham, actually, I actually said, yeah, go on then, I'll give it a go. And this was I think it was on a Friday. And he said, right, we'll come in on the Monday and train. I've not to sign anything, to train.
Yeah.
I should see what it's like. Anyway, I think I went out that weekend, tossed it off, never heard from it again. But I just knew I didn't want to. I just knew I didn't want to go back.
The thing is, like I said before, like I actually was really frustrated. I used to go, "What a prick! Why did he just wait? He's so good." But at the same time, I watched you on Under the Cosh, and my mate said the same thing to me. I love the geezer again. I just want to go out for a drink with him. Just because I couldn't make it as a footballer, and a few of my other mates and other people couldn't make it as footballers, doesn't mean this. Just because you could, doesn't mean you've got to do it. If you just don't fancy it at some point, then it's your fucking right to not want to do it anymore if it's not making you happy.
Yes, I can understand, obviously. It's frustrating, people like, fucking hell, he's got, he could be going playing this and playing that. But, I've played like 10 years of it near enough, Championship, Football League. And it's like anything. It's like, you can get like a bit bored of it. It's like, it's like people say, if you buy a Ferrari, everyone's like, oh, and then after 6 months, you're bored of it.
Yeah.
But I fully understand, because obviously it's a privileged situation we're in. But it was quite a brave decision for me, because I didn't just follow the norm where it's like, oh, I see players now playing for fucking teams who I know of, who they just, they don't want to be there, but they feel like they have to because they'll probably get this. And I didn't cancel it out straight away.
Yeah.
But after a bit, I started getting more comfortable, getting to routine, obviously, with a little one, and obviously my missus and that. And I just felt like I don't want to risk going back to that place, Listen, I could have gone back and it could have just gone back up again and, been brilliant, like I was at Millwall. but I just didn't want to risk it, and then just come about with my friend. Played for obviously Stone Clough, and went down, played a game, and then that was it.
You're sheerly playing, because some people still think you're playing because that's the level you're at now. And I said, no, because honestly, if you're still fit or you could get fit and you fancy, you get in our team now, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
So it's just for the crack, you if you make.
Yeah. Listen, it's funny because there's a lot of like our league we play, and it's like towards like in between like Blackburn way, so you get quite a lot of Blackburn fans like playing against, trying to obviously give me shit, and they're not quick enough yet. Even with a beer belly, they're not going to catch me. But someone said to me the last game I played was, well, you found your level now, aren't you? And I was having a stinker. I went, I think I'm fucking below this, to be honest.
He's got no comeback to that, has he?
No, but they have a bit of crack, and
like, you must be miles better than the. You must be miles better. I'm imagining you're winning 10-0 every game. You're scoring them all. Is that not work like that?
No, does it balls? Well, one, I've played centre half, I've played centre mid, up front, you name it. If the centre half don't turn up because it's been on a night out, I've got to play centre half. If I don't turn up because I've been out, someone else will have to slot in. But to be honest, the games are often called off anyway, waterlogged, so you know what it's like.
You're just going for the togetherness and the boozing.
Well, it's obviously it's been a bit thingy, hasn't it, recently? You've not been able to play.
Right, yeah. So it's not like a down here we have like I don't know what they call them, but like Ryman leagues, the national leagues. You don't get paid to play for them. You get paid to play.
It cost me £5 subs. Pay for your own kit. I've actually sponsored the kit.
What's it say on the kit then? Just out of interest.
It's just I've got like a property like company thing, and it's just says BM Nitro.
Right.
Or whatever.
I thought you just like Ben Marshall on tour or something. It's the picture of you with a bucket and a cigar on the go.
Yeah. But so we've got a group chat, so all the lads like, some of them are like, I can't put a bet on bet 365 and not let me put a bet on. So I started like a bet, like my own bet Marsh it's called. So they put bets on with me, and if they start sending like accumulators through for 50p for 14, I say, fuck that. Return. And yeah, but it's just a good crack.
Brilliant, mate. So you're not interested in getting back into it at all? Because one question I had for you is, if Millwall rung you up tomorrow and went, Marshy, wages that you're happy with, 4 years on the table, come back to the Den, would you do it?
I don't know.
What about a team? What about Blackburn, a team up the road?
No, I thought that.
Mate, they're gonna love you for saying that.
If it was the comeback games, obviously.
Do you reckon you still got it in you to come back if you had to?
Nah.
You must have. You're only 29. You're not like
Yeah. I don't know. Listen, if you got me fit, and you never know. But to be honest, I think I'd rather. Do they need any coaching staff?
Sure. Well, you fancy having a go at that?
No, but I'd go down for crap, right? Away trips, flipping it. Away trips was like a night out for the staff. Jesus. We'd be in bed at 10 on a Friday, and you'd wake up for breakfast, and they're still sat in bar.
What, Millwall?
Well, anyway, Gary Megson was brilliant. I come down for breakfast once, and Megson was coming in with his assistant from a night out.
Have you got any funny dressing room stories on Millwall? Bearing in mind some of the players still play, so don't stitch any of them up.
No, I've got to be careful because obviously if they didn't play, then I'd throw them out. But I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head, but there was definitely a few flying about.
Yeah, sounds like you had a good time, mate. It's a shame it didn't work out the second time, but mate, I listened to you on Under the Cosh. I just loved you again. I just couldn't stop laughing for days. And all my mates were just on it. He's really good, mate. You come across really, really honest, and I appreciate that. I'm sure the fans will as well. Shame it didn't work out the second time, but the first time, mate, you was on absolute fire and all the rest of them, weren't you?
Yeah. Like you say, I enjoyed it and managed to chip in with a few. And Bolton was the Bolton was the highlight. I think it was away when.
That was during the school holidays. I took my son with me. I forgot to mention that. And you did a celebration, and he lost his shit, and I was like, "What is that?" And it's like a fortnight dance or something.
Yeah,
I don't even know what it was.
Well, obviously Bolton's quite close to home, so I had quite a few coming watching, and one of my mates, Wes, his little boy Lucian, was playing Fortnite at the time. I'd gone on to play it after it, but I didn't play it, and he said, "Do this if you score." So anyway, I think I did it wrong, but I think they ended up getting the gist of it. But that was the highlight for me, because I tell you why, because they were staying over and then coming back the day after. So we'd gone back to an hotel, and Chopper's gone, have a few pints. So he said, "Right, you can have 2, then back to your room." So everyone's like, "Fuck that." So he doesn't know this, by the way, but so he said, "Right, back to your room." So went back to the room anyway. I got a couple of lads who live round corner to come with like big crates of beer. So got them back to the room, and we just had it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Who did you room with away days?
Hutchie.
He's a bit of a reserved character. Hutch can't work him out.
Oh yeah, but
he still plays, by the way, so don't throw him under the bus. I like him.
I got him to life. Don't worry about that. Yeah. Now, to be fair, we got put together, and then it just stuck. And when I come back, I said because I think he was in and out of the team, wasn't he? Hutchie the second season, and he's quite a quiet character sometimes. So he said, "I'm going to put you with Hutch rooming." He said, try and get him back going, sort of thing. But I think it was just all around the team, obviously he wasn't doing that well. I think it was because we was on such a, everyone was on such a high from that season. He was trying to sort of get back to that, but it's not easy, is it?
No, second season syndrome, it always happens to teams as well.
Yeah.
Then you come into the division, a bit of an unknown entity, and then the second season they work hard to suss you out, don't they? That's what happens.
But it's like anything. Like if we was when we was in the playoffs, do you know what I mean? We knew if we was to get beat, there's no pressure. We're expecting, against the decent sides. We knew it wasn't going to be like the be all and end all. Whereas the second season was basically towards the end was like, well, we've just got to make sure we stay in the league, which then puts a huge amount of pressure on you. But luckily managed to obviously stay in and go again the next season. And then I see Neil Harris, Cardiff manager. I thought, how was he fucking nick that?
I got to tell you, he watches some of these as well, by the way. So
how was he nick that? I think he'd agree with me. But no, he's a top manager and deserves it. He deserves it. I think I just couldn't imagine him being anything anywhere other than Millwall.
Yeah. I think we're all in the same boat, mate. Yeah, himself included. But he's doing all right there. He's doing all right. He's doing well.
How was it him leaving? Was it a bit mixed or?
I got nothing but respect for him because it's not just the goals he scored for us as a player and then what he did for us as a manager, but he walked away at the right time for me. Just before it started to go south quickly, he bailed out and left us in a good position, and then obviously Rowett took over, do you know what I mean? But you've got to be careful what you wish for because we was bored. A lot of people, myself included, was pissed off with his direct play. But now we're trying to overplay with players that can't play, and we're struggling a bit, mate. So I'm sure he would always be welcome back with open arms.
Yeah, it's like anything. Like if I was a fan going to a game, my team was winning 1-0, 2-0, I won't. As long as they're winning, not ass. But I do get. It was like Stoke when I was at Stoke. It was good because he was winning and doing well in the Prem, and then when it started getting well, the fans started being like, "Well, we want to see some football," and we want, which is understandable.
You get used to the success, don't you? Yeah, and then you start wanting more.
But no, I think that second spell was, probably one of the best of my career. Like not playing wise, just everything. It was brilliant. Just probably look back on it now, and it just puts a smile on my face.
Brilliant, mate. I always finish with the same question. You can have one night out tomorrow night down in London. with 3 of your old Millwall teammates. Who are you taking?
Meredith.
I was playing with every single guy in the playroom.
All right, just give us a minute. I nearly done it. It'd be probably Meredith, Sav, and trying to think.
Big Byron, Gregors.
Gregors, yeah, Gregors, because he's like obviously, it's quite teetotal, but I've been out with him a few times and I love him when he has like sniffs 2 beers, he'll like get a whiff of it and that's it. Boom.
Game over. Oh, he can't handle his drink.
He can handle it, but
He's just gone early.
You look round and he's doing backflips off the tables and you're like, what the fuck? It's just a nuisance, but he's a good nuisance. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to get Chopper there as well. To be honest.
Really, you really got a lot of time for Harris, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I reckon I'd drink him on the table, like, but.
Who do you reckon to give you a run for your money in the team? Good boozer, can booze strong.
What, in Millwall team?
Yeah.
No one come close.
What about football in general then? To get close to you.
I don't know.
No one. Gold medalist. You check that Guinness Book of Records again. Make sure you ain't in it.
Biggest football legend there,
Barshy, honestly, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'd love to come when obviously things are back to normal. Come down and we'll go and watch a game and that. And
yeah, brilliant, mate. Always welcome here. I'll give us a shout.
Yeah, as long as I don't get crap by Millwall fans. Yeah,
mate. After this, I'm sure you'll be back in the good books. After this, you definitely hold me.
Yeah, and if they're setting up another firm out, tell them to get involved. I'll have a scrap, mate. No problem. I'll see if the Stone Island jacket still can fit me. Get that on.
Can you act like a South Londoner? Can you do the impression and all that?
If I can did like it. Fucking greedy bastard.
Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Top man.
You too. See you later.
Mate. Thank you, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers, mate.
No worries, mate.